All right, so welcome back to our math lesson. And in this lesson, we're going to tackle a tricky but very important topic: the 4-digit subtraction with borrowing from 0. In the previous lesson, we did the 4-digit addition and 4-digit subtraction, but this time this is with borrowing from 0 with 4-digit subtraction. So this might sound confusing to you at first, but don't worry, by the end of this video you'll be a subtraction pro. Okay, so let's get started. When you subtract one number from another and you need to borrow from 0, it means you'll have to go to the next column over and borrow some value to make the subtraction possible. That's what we're gonna do in this lesson. Let's get started. Okay, so let's look at our first example. We have 5003 minus 2769. And of course, we're going to start in the ones places. In ones place. And we have 3 minus 9 there. This is the first column. Then the second column, we know tens. And then the third hundreds. And the fourth column is a thousands place. So we have 3 minus 9, but wait, you cannot subtract 9 from 3 because 3 is smaller than 9. So we need to borrow. Let's fix this. So I don't want you to be confused. So first things first, when you see this type of problem, this kind of problem, you're gonna borrow the number from the next column. But since then this is a 0, so we have a in the tens, and hundreds places, we have the digit 0 there, so we need to borrow from the thousands place. So we have to turn the 5 into 4 and make the 0 into a 10. So how are we going to do that? It's very simple. Let's strike this number 5. This number 5 becomes 4, and of course we borrowed from this thousands place, and the one we have to place it here in front of the number 0. And because we have another column here, as you can see on the screen, in the tens place 0, so we have to borrow from the hundreds place. We have to borrow 1 from the hundreds place, so we have to strike this number 10, and this 10 becomes 9. And then we have to put the 1 here in the tens column. And we're not done yet because we have 3 minus 9 and we cannot subtract 9 from 3. So we have 10 here in the tens column. You have to strike that 10, okay? And that 10 becomes 9. And the one that you borrowed from the tens column, you have to put in front of a number 3. So now we can do the subtraction here. So 13 minus 9, okay, we can subtract 9 from 13 and we get the answer 4, which is equals to 4. Okay? So you're still with me? So next, in the tens column, we have 9 there. So 9 minus 6. What is the answer? 9 minus 6 is equals 3. So just write the 3 in that particular column. And next is in the third column, the hundreds place. So 9 minus 7 equals 2. And finally, in the thousands column, we subtract 4, okay, minus 2. We subtract 2 from 4, so we get the final answer, which gives us the answer 2. So 2,234, that is the final answer for the problem number 1. And problem number 2, we still have 0 there. Of course, these are all zeros. This is an advanced topic. So the 0 is in the hundreds column. So what we're going to do is the same thing, only let's fix that. So we know the problem here is we have the 0 in the third column, in the hundreds column. So we strike this 4, this becomes 3. And you put the number 1 right there in front of the 0. So now just check the number. And we know that 5, we cannot subtract 9 from 5. And we cannot subtract 4 from 2. So let's strike this number 10. And this becomes 9. And you put the number 1 here in front of this number 2. And we know we can subtract 4 from 12. But the 9 here in the ones column, we cannot subtract 9 from 5. So we have to strike this number 12. And of course, we borrowed 1 from 12. That's going to become 11. And the 1, we have to place it in the ones place in front of number 5. So we have 15, okay, over 9, or 15 minus 9, or 9. We can take away 9 from 15. And the answer is 15 minus 9. We know that 9 is smaller than 15. So the answer is 6. And we have 11 there in the tens column. So 11 minus 4 equals 7. And next is in the third column, 9 minus 8. The answer is 1. And finally, 3 minus 1. That gives us 2. So the final answer is 2,176. And the last is 7032 minus 5687. The same thing. We have a 0 in the third column. So what we're going to do is to fix that. And we know that 7, we're going to take away 7 from, in the ones column, we're going to take away 7 from 2 because the number above is smaller than, or is larger than number 7 at the bottom. So the bottom number. So we have 3 minus 8. We cannot do that. We're going to take away 8 from 3. And of course, 6, we're going to take away 6 from 0, from nothing. So what we're going to do? Fix it. So slash that, strike that number 7, and that number 7 will become 6. And you have to put the 1 here in front of the 0. And we know that we have to borrow 1 from the 10, okay, or in the hundreds place. We have to strike that, and that 10 will become 9. And you have to put the 1 here, okay. And we know that in the ones column, we have a problem here because 7 we cannot take away from 2. So we have to strike the 13, and 13 becomes 12. And 1 will be in front of that number 2. Okay, so that becomes number 12. So we can now proceed to the subtraction process. 12 minus 7, that is 5. Which is equals 5. And 12 minus 8 equals 4 in that column. And in the third column, 9 minus 6 equals 3. And 6 minus 5, which is equals to 1. So the final answer is 1,345. Great job. So you've now seen how to handle 4-digit subtraction. Congratulations. As well as the 4-digit addition, but this is a 4-digit subtraction with borrowing from 0. Remember, whenever you face a situation like this where you need to subtract a larger number from a smaller one in a column, you just borrow from the next column over. So that is the solution for that. So now it's your turn. Try some practice problems on your own. Take your time, and remember, practice makes perfect. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy learning.